30th snap, a 6-game funk. 5 of those 6 games, 1-run losses. The Marlins are going to try tonight against the Atlanta Braves. 33-28 are the Bravos. The Fish 3 over. There are your lineups. Hey, former skipper, current skipper. Marlins, Braves. Everybody trying to figure out how to get some hits. Derek Lowe and Ricky Nolasco trying to figure out how to get some outs tonight. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton. This has been a 6-game slide that is filled with frustration. Not because the Marlins are getting blown out, but 5 of the 6 games, Tommy, are 1-run losses.
Yeah, very frustrating. I think you snap it by tweaking a few things, which we've seen Edwin do in the lineup tonight. Scott Cousins is in. Greg Dobbs is hitting third. You hope for a little luck. You hope for some breaks, and you go from there. But it's one of those things that every team goes through. And how about this? Even through this 6-game losing streak, the Marlins have still scored more runs than the Braves this year.
Well, last night was all about pitching. It was a 1-0 game. So tonight we figured, hey, let's focus on some guys that have been doing some hitting, especially against the other club. We'll start with Chris Coghlan, who loves hitting against the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, I think ever since Chris Coghlan strapped on a Marlins uniform in his rookie year in 2009, he has just tormented and killed the Atlanta Braves. He has a 21-game streak against Atlanta in his career, hitting .390 against the Braves. And this year alone, he's 8 for 14 against the Braves and 3 for 6 against Derek Lowe, who's pitching tonight.
All right, you want torment? I give you Brian McCann against
Don't
Ricky.
torment me this way.
Against Ricky Nolasco. He had a 3-run homer against him earlier this year, and that's just the tip of the iceberg for McCann.
Yeah, McCann also has gotten a ton of big hits against the Fish. 17 career home runs against the Marlins. But, oh, please, don't look at that too long. Career against Ricky Nolasco, 368 and 6 home runs. So the all-star catcher, 5-time all-star, he'll be an all-star again this year. Brian McCann, seems that he hits a lot of other teams too, though.
And both of these starters, Ricky Nolasco and Derek Lowe, have career ERAs against the other team over 5.
Look for a lot of sinkers and sliders from Derek Lowe. If he's on his game, he'll get ground ball outs. Ricky has to be a little better spotting his fastball, using the slider and curve.
Marlins have a lineup tweak. We will give that to you in a moment. It's Lowe and Nolasco. It's the Marlins and the Braves, and it's that time of year again. Are you ready for the challenge? A worthy cause and a fun one as well. Long balls. We're talking about it when we get back. Braves trying to make it 2 in a row. And to start things, we go out to left field. Craig Minervini and Jeff Conine. Hi, guys.
Hello, Rich. How are you? And good evening again, everybody. With the Niner, I'm Craig Minervini, and it's a home run challenge game for the Florida Marlins tonight. It's the first one, Jeff, of this list of games Major League Baseball will have between now and Father's Day on June the 19th, raising money, lots of money for each home run.
What a phenomenal job this program has done over the last decade or so. $2.3 million raised just last year. each home run in designated games from now until Father's Day. They've got an opportunity to make some money. $10,000 per home run tonight will be donated to the Home Run Challenge of the Prostate Cancer Foundation. And you'll see some of the donors, I guess you would say.
You were a donor.
I was a donor once, yes I was.
And in a big way, by the way. In 2010, as you mentioned, 112 homers hit, and the total money is in the tens now of millions of dollars, because they've been doing this for over a decade now. The Select Games, the fundraising initiative for prostate cancer research, and it's a great job by Major League Baseball and players, along with the Prostate Cancer Foundation. And the number is 800-798-CURE. You can contribute as well. Pledges ranging from 25 cents up to the $10,000 for each home run. This is how you get involved too. 800-798-CURE, or the website at www.pcf.org. You'll be hearing a lot about this going up to Father's Day. The Marlins happy to be the first team, along with the Atlanta Braves, to participate here tonight, the Home Run Challenge game. Up next, it's game number 2. Ricky Delasco getting set, goes after his 5th win. He has not won since May 24th. Take on Derek Lowe and the Braves.
By AT&T, by Checkers, little place, big taste, and by FPL, constantly working to make its system stronger, smarter, cleaner, and even more efficient. To offer reliable service today and for years to come, visit FPLConnect.com to learn more. Last night, runs were at a premium, a 1-0 win for the Atlanta Braves. Tonight, the Marlins and Braves meet game 2 of the 3-game series. The Bravos have moved out in front of the Marlins in the standings at 33-28. Warren Henry brings you the lineup. Jordan Schaefer, speedy center fielder. Alex Gonzalez provided the only run last night with a homer. Chipper Jones at third base. Brian McCann just eats Ricky Nolasco alive. Freddie Freeman's at first. Dan Uggla at second base. Eric Hinsky in left. Matt Young in right field. And the pitcher hitting ninth, Derek Lowe.
Yeah, it's interesting, Rich. You talked about both pitchers with ERAs over 5 against the other ball club. And Ricky's ERA 5.20 in his career against the Atlanta Braves. He had a no decision in Atlanta back on April 14th. The Marlins won that game 6-5, but that guy McCann took him deep in the game. So did Dan Uggla in the 5 innings that Ricky worked.
Warren Henry brings you our defense tonight.
Check in on the defense. You might see a change or two. Logan Morrison, Chris Coughlin, Scott Cousins with the start in right field. Dobbs at third, Bonifacio, Infante, Gabby, and John Puck behind the plate.
So ready to go on a very comfortable night here at Sun Life Stadium. The really hot weather has yet to start in South Florida. Nolasco throws a strike. So says Andy Fletcher, who is behind home plate. There's a look at Jordan Schaefer. Schaefer, the speedy center fielder, with Nate McLouth on the disabled list, seeing a lot of time, has yet to really get going offensively. At one point, one of their top prospects, and actually opened the 2009 season as the starting center fielder. Out of Winter Haven, Florida. Big breaking ball. That may have fooled Buck and Fletcher. And the count's 2-1.
Not to mention Jordan Schaefer as well.
I think all three at the plate were a little surprised at that one. Ricky's 2-1 pitch. Ripped into right field for a base hit. Scott Cousins out there. And Schaefer opens up with a single. Tonight's game, we're participating in the home run challenge. Tonight, every home run in this game raises $10,000 for prostate cancer research. And you can make a difference. You can make a pledge by calling 800-798-CURE. That's 800-798-2873. Or go online to pcf.org. Alex Gonzalez made a difference last night in the fourth inning against the rookie Brad Hand. And he got a fastball from Hand, hit it out to left, and that was the only run of the ball game. All your cooling brings you the weather, 85 degrees. As we told you, a comfortable night here at the ballpark.
The base hit, by the way, of Jordan Schaefer snapped an 0 for 12 that he was on.
Schaefer, good wheels. And a fastball misses up. We told you the stat last night that Alex Gonzalez's home run made Brad Hand a loser in his debut. And it's just the second time since 1900 that a guy has made his debut, gone over 6 innings, given up 1 run, and taken the loss. As well as giving up 1 or fewer hits.
There's a look at that home run. It was a fastball, middle in. Good pitch for Alex Gonzalez to hit, and he took advantage of it, and that's all the Braves got off Brad Hand.
The only other time it happened was 1971. Mike Thompson gave up just 1 hit in 7 innings in losing to the Baltimore Orioles.
We also told you last night the Braves aren't a running team. Even though they picked up a couple of stolen bases last night, just 13 steals on the year. But Freddie Gonzalez has a guy at first base with some speed, Jordan Schaefer.
Always good to see Freddie. Carlos Tosca, his bench coach. Of course, they had 3.5 years with the Marlins, 276 career wins, and that is tops on the Marlins all-time list. There's a look at the man they call Los, Carlos Tosca. Tampa native. Schaefer still at first. The 2-1. Good breaking ball. Evens the count at 2-2.
You know, with Schaefer getting on, the fact that he does have speed really slowed the pace of Ricky here in the first inning. Ricky's usually a quick worker, so is Derek Lowe.
Two coming. Schaefer bluffs. Gonzo hits it well. Left center. Coughlin on the move. Reaches. Oh! He got it! Chris Coughlin! Wow!
You see outfielders dive to their left and dive to their right, but when you're going back on a ball and make this dive, lay out, that is fantastic. Great play by Chris Coghlan. So not only does he hit the Atlanta Braves in his career, he's showing that he can field against the Atlanta Braves. Just tremendous.
So there's one out, albeit a spectacular one, and here is Chipper Jones. Now Jones, along with Brian McCann, have just clobbered Nolasco in their careers. Chipper's hitting .452 against Ricky. No swing, says Tim Welke, who's down at third base. Mike DeMuro's at first, Jim Reynolds at second. We told you Andy Fletcher behind home plate. Those are Chipper's numbers this year.
You know, also this year, he's hit much better from the other side of the plate, hitting .212 this year as a lefty. And that's not been the pattern for Chipper Jones in his career. In his career, a .300 hitter from both sides.
Ricky getting the benefit of that one, and the count is 1-1. McCann to follow. Schaefer's at first. And he's running. Breaking ball strike. Buck's throw. Not in time.
There's an example of probably the only reason he stole that base is because it was a breaking ball. Got a decent jump. John Buck comes up with a strong throw. But the breaking ball takes a little bit longer to get to the plate. I think if it's fastball, they get him. But a good jump and a stolen base by Schaefer.
Ball in 2 strikes now. Schaefer inching away from second. You know, the other factor in that, and we talked to John Buck about it, if a runner is on the move and his pitcher throws what he feels is a strike, he'll stay on that pitch a little bit longer than if it's outside or if it's up. Little flare to center. Coghlan. That one rather routine after the last one.
And that's a good point, and you actually have to stay on that breaking ball a little bit longer. So it's been a busy first inning for Chris Coghlan.
So here's McCann. He had a night off last night, and he deserves it. And one thing the Braves have, they have a terrific backup catcher. And we told you last night about David Ross, who is probably the best backup catcher and would be a very good #1 catcher on a lot of teams. But it's a real luxury to give McCann a night off and not miss a beat defensively. And Ross has contributed offensively this year as well. But he's no McCann, the 5-time All-Star, first in the vote getting right now for the position. And he takes a strike. It's amazing. He's been on the All-Star team 5 times. He's not started yet, but if the voting trends continue, he will be starting, and he deserves it. Look at the numbers against Alaska. We told you 6 homers, including a 3-run shot. Ricky's last start against the Braves, and that was a first inning blast in Atlanta.
Not to mention the fact that he's also on a pretty good tear, hitting .344 his last 16 games.
Up the middle, that's a base hit. Coghlan up with it. Schaefer races around third, and he will score. And he just keeps hammering Nolasco. Brian McCann gives the Braves a 1-0 lead.
I know it's the first inning, but you almost say to yourself, just walk him and go after Freddie Freeman. But it doesn't matter where the pitches are. Brian McCann is on just about everything that Ricky Nolasco throws. And right back up the middle, Schaefer with his speed and with the stolen base, able to score.
Well, here is Freeman now. McCann's at first. Freeman last night 0 for 3. Liner, and Bonifacio makes the catch. But the Braves strike first in this one. A single, a stolen base, McCann's base hit. Coming up, Chris Coghlan. 1-0 Braves.
FC.
Braves have a run. Marlins try to answer. Warren Henry brings you the lineups. Chris Coghlan leads it off. Omar Infante hitting second. Greg Dobbs in the 3 spot for the first time in his career. Gabby Sanchez at first. Logan Morrison bumped down to the 5th position. John Buck hits 6th. Emilio Bonifacio in the 7th. Scott Cousins gets a start in right field, and Ricky Nolasco hits 9th.
Yeah, and there's a look at the 38-year-old who's had quite a career. Derek Lowe with 160 wins, 85 career saves. He's done a little bit of everything except have a lot of success against the Marlins. The Marlins have hit him pretty well over the years.
Coghlan introducing himself to Andy Fletcher and everybody. 1 for 2 last night. It was a double. Also walked a couple times. 3 for 6 in his career against Lowe. And of course, we told you about his terrific numbers against the Atlanta Braves. Not quite McCann-like in his power numbers, but just as impressive. Went after a pitch out of the zone. That's that super sinker that Lowe throws.
Yeah, a little bit of a change up there. He'll use the sinker, take a little bit off of it, use his slider. But when he's on, everything's about ankle high.
21 straight games against the Braves and a .390 average. Little tapper, slowly hit. Gonzalez charges and just gets him. So Lowe gets Coghlan out.
Now we'll check in on the Braves defensively, brought to you by Warren Henry. Eric Hinsky, Schaefer, Matt Young. How about that outfield alignment? Chipper Jones, Gonzo, Dan Uggla, Freddie Freeman, and Brian McCann behind the plate. I don't think that was the outfield they mapped up in spring training to be out there on a consistent basis.
If Lowe gets that pitch for a strike, it's going to be a long night for the Marlins.
Yeah, we talked about how Lowe works fast, gets the sinkers. He's had a season in which he won 21 games. He had a season in which he saved 42 games. There's about a 2 or 3 year period. He was the closer for the Red Sox.
Ground ball, Chipper to his left. Doesn't have the range that he once had, but the glove is still there.
And the accuracy with his throwing arm, too. So 2 outs, 2 ground balls.
And that's exactly what Derek Lowe does.
able to make the move to his left. Ball kind of stays down, so he stays down with it, watches it in the glove all the way. Gets that nice four-seam grip and completes the play.
So here is Dobbs. And Greg Dobbs, part of a little bit of a lineup tweak. Moved into the number 3 spot. Dobbs 21 ABs against Flo and has 6 hits, including a home run. Takes it outside. Edwin Rodriguez doing everything he can right now to jumpstart this offense. That one foul back tonight. He gives Mike Stanton a night off, and Scott Cousins is in there against the right-hander.
And I think a needed night off, mentally more than physically.
Dobbs strikes out low, goes 1-2-3 through the fish in the first. Atlanta on top here in Miami tonight. Sitting with Marlins legendary skipper Jack McKeon. Last time we saw Jack, he was at the draft. He and Bill Beck represented the Marlins at the Major League Baseball draft.
Yes, they did. Lots of experience between those two. And lots of experience between those two.
Here's Dan Uggla with Eric Hinsky and Matt Young to follow. Uggla sends that one to right field. Cousins coming towards the line. Scott is there to make a running catch. One pitch, one out. Baker Concrete Super Saturday coming up on the 11th. The postgame concert is hip-hop superstar Ludacris, presented by your South Florida Ford dealers. See the Marlins take on the Diamondbacks at 7:10. Fans get Marlins Thunder Sticks courtesy of New Era Cap 1877 Marlins, or go to marlins.com. Here is Hinsky, who keeps finding himself in the Braves lineup.
There's another guy, Rich, that really has had an interesting career. He's been with a number of teams, and I'll bet you a lot of people forgot that he was Rookie of the Year in the American League in 2002 with Toronto.
He's had a rebirth of sorts as a pinch hitter and as a kind of a good luck charm. He's been to 4 consecutive postseasons. With the Braves last year getting knocked out in the first round, that snapped the streak of 3 consecutive World Series appearances, including a couple of World Series titles with the Yankees in 09 and Boston 07. He was with the Rays in 08. 0-2 to Hinske. And Ricky got him with a breaking ball.
That's good. That's what Ricky needs to do. Get ahead, get hitters to chase that good breaking ball. And Hinske is a good hitter, a .320 hitter against right-handed pitching. So you get ahead, drop that curveball up there, get Hinske to commit, and Ricky gets the strikeout.
Here's Matt Young. Young getting the start in right field. Jason Hayward on the disabled list. There was news about that today. Young sprays that one into left field. He's got himself a base hit. Chipper Jones, in talking to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, said that the Braves need Jason Hayward back in the lineup. Hayward has made the comment that he didn't want to come back until he was 100%. And Chipper's comment was that, hey, 80% of Jason Hayward is better than most guys in the big leagues. And Chipper talked about when he was young, he had to learn how to play with pain.
And he made the point as to how needed Hayward is in the makeup of their lineup. By the way, when you're Ricky Nolasco, you have guys like Chipper Jones, Brian McCann. Not going to take anything away from Jordan Schaefer, who was 0 for 12. He singled. Or Matt Young, who was 2 for 23 before his single. Ricky should go right through those guys.
Now Lowe with a count 0-1 and 2 outs. Chipper Jones was not real happy, though, that some of his comments on a variety of sites were turned into Chipper calling out Jason Hayward.
Yeah, because from what we were told, Chipper's actually talked to Jason Hayward about this.
And that's not what he was trying to communicate when he made those quotes. But in this day and age, you make some statements, and people will pick and parse what they want and put a headline on it. And we've talked about it with this young Marlins group as well. And that is, you know, learning to play with pain, learning to play when you're not 100%. We talked about that with Mike Stanton when he was trying to deal with his hamstring issues in spring training.
Over the years, players will tell you, the guys who are playing 150, 160 games, there have been a lot of games that they're playing that they don't feel 100%.
And I think Logan Morrison, another one of those guys that had to, you know, dial it back a little bit when he came off the disabled list. His foot still hurt when he came off the DL. Yeah, I think we've seen Morrison make that adjustment. I think we saw Stanton make the adjustment, because when the first 3 weeks of the season, Stanton was not 100%.
But I think he learned a lot from that experience, because he learned how to play under control. And when you have a guy like Mike, you see the importance when he's hitting, what he does to the line.
Lowe putting up a good battle here at 1-2. And he fights off another breaking ball. And Nolasco already up to 28 pitches. Lowe needs a new bat.
Yeah, he's had to throw a lot of them to Derek Lowe. Next pitch to Lowe will be number 7.
By rule, and this was started by Major League Baseball, I think 4 or 5 years ago, and you can see the Fox tracks. Every hitter has to have 2 bats when he comes to the plate, one in his hand and one in the on-deck circle in case he breaks the bat.
Well,
that's to speed up the game.
Had one that he took to Lowe, but he went back, got another one.
I think he said, give me one of Chipper's, because these aren't working. Fastball misses away. It's 2-2. With Josh Johnson on the disabled list and with no return date in sight, The Marlins need Ricky Nolasco. They need Anibal Sanchez. They need everybody in the rotation to bear down a little more. And for Ricky, his last 2 starts have not been good. He's gone 3-2 on Derek Lowe.
With 9-pitch at bat, this pitch coming up, number 9. Put a little extra work on Ricky.
Young on the move, and another foul ball.
That's amazing. You usually want to try to go through that opposing pitcher, and it's not like Lowe's a great hitter. He's just 2 for 18 this year, but he's giving Ricky Nolasco a battle.
Three-2. Ground ball short. Bonifacio on to first. And the inning finally ends. 31 pitches for Nolasco through his 2 innings and a 1-0 Braves lead. Baseball's biggest stars will gather together in the Arizona desert for one spectacular night and the summer's biggest event. Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2011 Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Coverage begins Tuesday, July 12th, live from Phoenix, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on Fox. Well, the Marlins have tweaked their lineup a bit, but still in that cleanup spot is Gabby Sanchez. He'll be followed by Logan Morrison and John Buck. And it didn't matter a bit to Derek Lowe. He went 1-2-3 in the first inning.
And what you're hoping for, and I'm sure Edwin's hoping for the same thing, when you have Dobbs, Sanchez, Morrison, in that order, you're hoping those 3 guys are swinging the bats a little bit. Gabby's hit a little bump in the road. He's 0 for his last 10. But that's what you try to do. You try to put together some hitters that you think are going to get something going.
Gabby an 0 for 3 last night. He's 0 for 7 in his career against Lowe. That's not a swing. Mike DeMuro at first. He'll have home plate when the series finishes tomorrow night. And it doesn't get easier for the Marlins. Tomorrow night they get one of the better pitchers in baseball, Jair Jurgens. Chris Volstad going for the Fish.
When we were in Atlanta, Jurgens, I believe, that one of those nights made a rehab start, was just coming off the disabled list. So the Marlins didn't see him in Atlanta.
That's ball 4. Nice job by Gabby to lay off those sinkers. So lead-off walk here in the second. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Marlins may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Marlins, unless we have a shot of a dad dropping his 9-year-old to catch a ball thrown to him by a player, which I think is up to, what, 4 million hits on YouTube?
Something incredible.
That was the Dodger Stadium video of the Marlins' weird trip into Los Angeles, where the back of the stadium caught fire and the Dodgers took 2 of 3.
Normally, you would have thought that was just smog in Los Angeles.
Spoken like a guy that grew up in Southern California. Lomo waiting on the pitch, and it misses outside. Morrison 2 for 5 in his career against Lowe, and he was an 0 for 4 last night. The learning curve for a youngster in this game can take some weird turns. Morrison is 23. He had just had a game on Monday night in the loss to Milwaukee where he had 2 hits with runners in scoring position. And then last night, his first AB with Chris Coughlin at second base, he got himself in a good hitter's count, and he popped a pitch up on the infield. Lowe trying to pick at the corner. It's 3-1.
Yeah, right now, maybe that 10-pitch at bat wore Derek Lowe out. He had trouble throwing strikes to Gabby, and he's fallen behind 3-1. Now, this is an important pitch. Let's see what Logan Morrison is thinking, what his approach is, what he has on his mind here, 3-1.
He went after a sinker. And
not a good approach.
You're right.
You've got to make sure on a sinker ball pitcher, especially 3-1, that he gets that ball up a little bit. You are hoping that he tries to throw a strike and he gets it up a little bit more. See if Gabby's running on this, though.
He is running. Morris hits a ground ball, and that's right to second. Terrific turn, but it pops over the glove of Freeman, and a heads-up Logan Morrison ends up at second. A lot of runners would have just kept running down the line. Morrison took a quick left turn and gambled that he could get to second, and he did.
With Gabby on the move, but the ball is hit sharply, so ugly to Gonzalez and an acrobatic Alex Gonzalez, but a heads-up Logan Morrison pretty much trades places, gets himself to second base. So good play. Watch Alex Gonzalez. He knows because Gabby was running that he's going to be right on him. His throw a little bit low. Freeman can't handle it, and alertly Lomo picked it up.
There'll be a throwing error on the shortstop. And here's John Buck. And he takes a breaking ball for a strike. Buck had 2 hits last night. His bat has shown some life in this past week. Little tapper towards third. Morrison's coming to third. He kind of tiptoed in as Chipper Jones threw across the diamond. That was a little bit of a risky move there.
Yeah, it was, because he was far enough off second base. If Chipper Jones stops, and I'm sure Chipper saw him from the corner of his eye, he might have had a play. But you know what? It's early in the game. Chipper Jones probably saying to himself, the catcher hit the ball. I got plenty of time to get the sure out at first base. We'll just do that.
Bonifacio now. He takes a fastball for a strike.
So you have to go back now, Rich, to the 3rd inning of the last game against the Brewers. That's the last time the Marlins scored. That was an RBI double by Logan Morrison.
Back to the mound, and a 1 for 18 homestand now for Bonifacio. And the Marlins unable to get that run across. 1-0 Braves. You can stop by any Metro PCS store in Miami, Broward, or Palm Beach before July 10th and register to win a trip for two to see the Marlins play in San Diego at Petco Park August 19th through the 21st. The trip has airfare, hotel, and tickets to all three games. Don't wait. Stop by your local Metro PCS store today. Metro PCS, wireless for all. Here's Schaefer now, who's single back in the first. Stole a base, and that was important because he scored on the single by McCann. Ricky flips up a breaking ball. In the air, former Brave Omar Infante makes the catch. And Alex Gonzalez is coming up.
Like to see Ricky settle in, have a little string of good innings put together. Has just one strikeout tonight, but you know what? Ricky is the franchise leader in double-digit strikeout games.
And of course, his biggest strikeout game, the franchise record of 16 strikeouts, came on September 30th back in 09. When he struck out 16 Braves, including 9 in a row, which was one shy of the Major League record.
He had some kind of rhythm going for him at that time. Yeah, Ricky has 12 double-digit strikeout games. Second on the Marlins all-time list, A.J. Burnett with 9.
Right back up the box. Alex Gonzalez is swinging it pretty well right now. He, of course, hit the ball that Coughlin made the great diving catch on back in the first and robbed him of extra bases.
I think Alex is one of those hitters that has gotten a little better as his career has gone on. When he first came up with the Marlins, always had that unbelievable glove, but was more of a just go up, swing, see what happened. And he has a much better idea at the plate now.
We talked about his year last year. Half of it in Toronto. He had 42 doubles, 23 homers, and 88 RBIs. That's an enormous year out of a shortstop, especially with the glove that he's got. Chipper rolls over on one. Infante hustles. Bonifacio unable to turn it. And the Marlins get one out. Chipper now resides at first.
I think they had a shot for the double play. A tough play for Infante, but a hard slide by Alex Gonzalez. He knows the drill as a shortstop. So he comes in. There's his slide, and as he kind of gets Bonifacio to leap, Bonifacio lost control of the ball. But I think they would have gotten Chipper Jones. Had a chance to get the double play.
Well, what it does is bring McCann to the plate, and McCann continued to haunt Ricky Nolasco, the RBI single in the first. Goes after a high fastball and fouls it back.
You get to the point with McCann, you just hope he hits a hard line drive at somebody.
Not only does he have the 6 home runs in now 39 at bats, but he's driven in 19 runs in those 39 at bats. Fly ball left field. Morrison to the track, and he makes the catch.
See what I mean?
Line drive at somebody. 1-0 Braves. Our Tickets of America poll question: who has been the best player involved in the Ugla trade with Atlanta? Mike Dunn, Omar Infante, or Dan Ugla? It's actually a very interesting question. I know Ugla's batting average is down, but he, on the year, has hit 7 home runs. Now, Infante is not a home run hitter. His glove has been spectacular. Ugla's glove has been very steady for the Braves. Infante, last we checked, was tied for the league lead in fielding percentage with Brandon Phillips. Here's Cousins, and he pulls one down the first baseline. Scott getting a rare start. We've talked about it on this homestand with guys like Cousins and Ozzie Martinez, that to expect them to be contributors as pinch hitters, Edwin feels he's going to have to mix them into the starting lineup, get him some ABs.
And it's the type of game, I think, and you don't know if Scott's going to get base hits, but it's a good matchup for him, I think. You got a guy who keeps the ball down. You got to lay off that pitch. And Scott is a good low ball hitter.
The hard part in talking to even veteran players, younger players, is that when you do get the start, you have a tendency to try to get 3-4 hits and dazzle everybody instead of letting the game come to you and just and
try to. We use the term, you try to do too much. But you'd like to see him have a little success, because then you give the manager confidence that maybe he'll get him in there a little bit more.
Lowe's 1-2. Struck him out. A backdoor breaking ball. We check in with Craig Minervini.
Well, guys, the Marlins are 0 for 2 tonight with runners in scoring position. This has unfortunately been that issue they've been talking about probably for the last 2 weeks almost now. 0 for 9 in this series, 11 for the last 80. Talked with John Maley about this, and he said, you know, one of the keys is just talking to hitters. He said, we'll talk to the hitters. We'll talk about what was your approach. We'll look at video. Talking to Edwin Rodriguez the other day, may recall Omar Infante bunted early in the game, runner on second. They were down by 3, and he talked to him literally right after his at-bat, kind of brought him around the back and said, you know, what were you thinking? That's not the spot there where we want to bunt. So these things don't go by. They really look at them quite closely with video, with conversation. But it comes down finally to the guy with the bat in his hands, and it's execution. And these days for the Fish, you can do all the preparation you want. They're just not able to come through.
No, as Tommy pointed out, the inning drought continues on for the Marlins as well. They obviously didn't score last night. You got to go all the way back to the 3rd inning on Monday night, the last time the Marlins got a run. That came on a Logan Morrison double.
And that weighs on everybody's mind. One of the things Niner talked about on Marlins Live, that you know, there are physical things that you have to do and have a good approach, but it gets to this point where just so much of it is mental. And now you're the guy, all of a sudden you're up there with a runner in scoring position. Too many things start running through your head.
Chris Coughlin now, he bounced to short back in the first. And Lowe, first time through, a strikeout, a walk, actually 2 strikeouts and a walk, and everything else a ground ball out.
Yeah, there's not been a ball hit in the air. Some guys will move up a little more toward the pitcher, move up in the box a little, just to try to take that sink away.
Rolled over on it. Ugla flipped to first, and Derek Lowe is locked in right now in a 1-0 game. Flip the phone. Got some Brave fans here. AT&T trivia question. Who was voted into the Baseball Hall of Fame with Henry Aaron in 1982? Who went in with Henry Aaron?
Another Hall of Famer.
What year did Commissioner Bowie Kuhn go into the Hall of Fame?
I think this was another big hitter that went in with the hammer. Good changeup.
Harmon Killebrew? You got to think about, it's hard to know. Let's get a tip from our crack staff as Freeman fouls it off. Was he a first ballot guy, or did he go in, say, 7, 8, 9 years after his career ended? Crack staff, please give us some love or a clue.
Preferably a clue. We know they love us.
That one fouled back to the screen. Freddie Freeman, Dan Uggla, Eric Hinsky for the Braves. In the fourth, in a 1-0 game, Braves got a run from the get-go. Jordan Schaefer a single, a stolen base, and Brian McCann gave Freddie Gonzalez his club a 1-0 lead with an RBI single. Dobbs ranging to his left, makes the throw. We'd like to wish Eric and his lovely wife, Julianne, a happy 20th anniversary. And they are spending I can't believe that he is spending his 20th anniversary sitting on the couch watching Marlins baseball.
Obviously, having prepared a lavish meal for his bride of 20 years.
Or presented her with a lavish gift.
Sparkling, perhaps.
Maybe they will be celebrating this weekend.
Or maybe later tonight after the game.
This is not late night with the fish, Hut. Come on, here's a 1-0 pitch. Uggla pulls it. Almost the same play for Dobbs. And a rough year for Dan Uggla continues. Uggla's 0 for 5 in this series, and his average is dipped under 170 now.
Yeah, it's a large hole for Dan Uggla to dig out of, because he's got over 220 at bats, and you get that many at bats, it's tough to bring the average up. His average now 168.
I guess if you're going to look at the glass half full, is the fact that the Braves are 33-28. Uggla's not hitting. Hayward is not in the lineup. McLeod is on the DL. So if they can get some of those guys back and get Uggla's bat going, then maybe they'll really start rolling.
All those things are on Freddie's wish list.
Marlins have a few things on their wish list as well. They'd like to get Hanley back in the lineup. They'd like JJ to get better. And they'd like everyone to start hitting with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, the amazing thing, I was looking before the game, you and I were talking about it. The team in the National League East that has scored the most runs.
That should have been the trivia question.
The New York Mets.
That's amazing.
The Marlins only about 4 or 5 runs behind the Phillies.
Mets have won 3 in a row. They're in Milwaukee tonight. Mike Pelfrey against the Wolfpack. Randy Wolf. Check swing on a back foot breaking ball. What a day for Matt Cain, as he struck out 11 and beat Washington 3-1 and had an RBI double. And the Giants continue to win. They've played well since the Marlins swept them in San Francisco. Fouled at the plate. And a kid that came up at the end of that series, Brandon Crawford, had an RBI triple in the 7th inning.
Isn't it interesting, and probably has no bearing on it, but the Giants have played well since the Marlins left San Francisco, and the Marlins have not played well.
It just shows you how quickly this game can flip one way or another for a ball club. Two.
Ricky, by the way, making better pitches here in the fourth inning.
53 pitches worth here in the fourth inning. Derek Lowe at a cool 36.
That's still very manageable, though.
And he strikes out Hinsky for the second time tonight. Those are his only 2 strikeouts of the ball game. Braves, just like last night, a 1-0 lead. Now just $1.99 each by Subway. Eat fresh. And by Florida Power and Light, FPL is working to make its system stronger, smarter, cleaner, and even more efficient. Visit FPLConnect.com to learn more. Omar Infante against Derek Lowe. And a breaking ball for a strike. Infante to be followed by Greg Dobbs and Gabby Sanchez. The Marlins against Derek Lowe do not have a hit. Gabby Sanchez walk, about the only thing they have to show. And busy night for Chipper Jones over there at third base. Every infielder has had a ground ball.
Talking about the Marlins looking for their first hit. That's another thing on Derek Lowe's resume. Back in 2002, he flipped a no-hitter against Tampa Bay. So he's had a no-hitter. He's had a 21-win season. He's had a 42-save season.
Of course, he had a big year in 2004 with the world champion Red Sox. He won the series clincher in every series. He came in relief and finished one of the series and then was on the mound, or actually got the decision in the world championship run by the Red Sox. Won the series clincher as the Red Sox came from what, 3-0 against the Yankees? Sorry, Scott. There's a roller out towards second. Ugla flips it on to first. All right, who went in 82? We never got a clue from the crack staff. I'll go Killebrew. Frank Robinson. Let's see. 586 career home runs. MVP in both leagues. I got to think he was a first ballot Hall of Famer. And since 1936,
when the Hall of Fame opened, there have only been 32 first ballot Hall of Famers. Probably should have been some more.
Gabby launches one into left field. Hinsky charges in and makes the catch. And Derek Lowe, through 4, has not given up a hit, and the Marlins have yet to score.
Six straight, 8 of 9. They haven't hit much. The Braves haven't hit much this year. They asked Chipper Jones before the game about that dreaded word, slump.
Yeah, it's kind of like shank in golf. You know, it's one of those words that is forbidden here, you know, in a major league clubhouse, but it's hard to avoid, you know, during the course of a 162 game schedule. We're all going to go through it.
And as Chipper said, the key is how you deal with them, because everybody goes through them. He said the guys who deal with them well last a long time. He didn't say himself, but he's one of them. You got to be able to deal with the ups and downs in this crazy game. Guys?
Yeah, it's something that the Marlins are in the middle of right now and are trying to get out of. Matt Young hits a fly ball in the center field. Coughlin makes the catch. Today, the Cubs ended an 8-game losing streak. Ryan Dempster pitched them out of it as they beat Cincinnati in Cincinnati 4-1. So it can happen.
Well, and trust me, when you are a .248 career hitter, you went in a lot of slumps. I know the feeling.
Here's Lowe, who had an impressive at bat.
Hey, our crack staff, all of a sudden, they came alive. You know, they had a little trouble with the trivia question with us, but they came alive after that, because I made the comment that there should have been probably more first ballot Hall of Famers. Joe DiMaggio, Yogi Berra, Harmon Killebrew, Roy Campanella, Eddie Matthews were not first ballot Hall of Famers.
How is Joe DiMaggio not a first ballot Hall of Famer?
I don't know. And aside from the inaugural inductions in 1936, the most first ballot guys that went in any one year was in 1999.
Dobbs picks it up and he throws out low.
Brett, Yount, and Ryan,
all deserving of the honor. Now time to look at the upcoming Marlins schedule, brought to you by Just for Men Hair Color. Jair Jurgens, Chris Volstad finish off the series tomorrow night. Just as we look forward to the upcoming schedule, you can live forward with Just for Men Hair Color.
See, you know their first ballot Hall of Famers. You don't have to say their first name.
Jordan Schaefer He's 1 for 2. Singled, scored back in the first. Velasco misses away. Braves last night got their run in the fourth on the Alex Gonzalez home run. Tonight they got their run in the first. And Schaefer with a nice swing on that ball. That's in the gap, and that's trouble because he can absolutely fly. Schaefer around second, on his way to third, and he is going to get there with a triple. Schaefer has a couple of hits.
Well, that fastball stayed up, and that's what has gotten over the last 2 starts for Ricky Nolasco. That's what's gotten him in a little trouble, location. And credit Schaefer with a good swing. He didn't try to pull that ball. And once that ball found the gap, you knew he was going to be a third, because you're right, he does have terrific speed.
So Alex Gonzalez, who has stung the ball twice, is up. He's 1 for 2. Chris Coughlin robbed him of extra bases. And then he singled up the middle in the third. That's a swing, and it's 0-1.
When Alex was a younger hitter, he chased more stuff out of the zone. He's become a little more patient.
A liner over Infante's head, and Alex Gonzalez continues to blister the baseball. 2 hits tonight. He had the home run that decided it last night.
And solid swings tonight, and these base hits in this run all coming with 2 out. He goes down and hits a pretty good pitch. Watch where this pitch is. Might have been off the plate. It was down. That time you credit Alex Gonzalez with a good swing.
Chipper Jones now is 0 for 2. Out to short. Bonifacio to first in time to get Chipper Jones. But the Braves add on. Alex Gonzalez doing it again. $2-0 lead. JM Lexus presents our leaders of the game. And our leaders of the game, fewest runs per game. That's not one of the lists you want to be on. The Marlins and the Braves are on that list, right behind the Dodgers. JM Lexus price made us #1. Click jmlexus.com to find out how. But Freddie Gonzalez has got a good rotation. If you watched the game last night, you saw a trio of relievers that come out of that bullpen. The last 2 who are throwing fire, and Johnny Venters and Craig Kimbrell. Here's Morrison, who takes a breaking ball for a strike. So 19 consecutive innings without a run. The Marlins have gone the first 2 innings of this, or first 4 innings of this ball game without a hit. Morrison reached on a fielder's choice.
Yeah, the only fly ball out was the last out of the 4th. Gabby Sanchez hit the fly ball to left field. 9 ground ball outs so far, induced by Derek Lowe.
Now, Derek Lowe had that pitch right on the corner and did not get the call, and that really changes the at bat. Instead of a 0-2 count, a 1-1 pitch misses outside. It's 2-1.
Lowe's 3rd year with the Atlanta Braves.
Ground balls for everybody. Freeman to Lowe. Steps on the bag. John Buck and Emilio Bonifacio coming up as well.
There really has not been a ball hit hard by the Marlins. The only base runner, the walk to Gabby Sanchez in the 2nd inning.
So here's the Marlins catcher, John Buck. You're talking about Lowe's resume. That's one of the longest bat throws.
And stayed fair.
Stretch the tape on that one. That would be a straight, if that's where the Marlins charity golf tournament, that would win straightest drive. It was right on the line. Counts 0-1. Lowe's resume, well, we'll take a look at the bat throw. Thankfully, it didn't go in the seats. Al Erter would be proud of that one. 160 wins and 85 saves. And that puts him in the company of a couple of really unique pitchers. Dennis Eckersley and former Brave John Smoltz. Smoltz had 213 wins and 154 saves. Eckersley won 197 games and had 390 saves. And he makes pretty quick work of John Buck.
And Rich, don't think the Al Order reference slipped by. Was it discus or shot put? Discus, I think. But one of those two.
Yeah, I just remember the name from Olympics past.
Like the Olympics 50s and 60s.
Yeah, the Jim McKay Olympics.
Yeah. I'm going to stick with discus. I think there was, back in that same era, a Perry O'Brien was a shot put.
Al Order, 4-time Olympic champion in the discus throw. You are correct.
Thank you.
And in Flushing, Queens, there is now a $50 million Al Order Recreation Center. The Al Order Recreation Center in Flushing, Queens. He has his own website, alorder.com.
Has to be near Citi Field somewhere. Near the tennis complex. Somewhere in that area.
I would say a stone's throw, but
more a discus throw.
There you go, the 1-2. That's a strike. Man, Derek Lowe is absolutely dealing tonight. 5 no-hit innings. Not even close to a hit tonight for the Fish.
cuarto inning.
No hits for the Marlins. No runs for the Marlins.
Wow. 11 ground balls.
Well, wait a minute. And Alex is an ex-Marlin, but he's on the other side.
Yes.
You know?
And he swung the bat well.
Sure has.
In both games. In fact, if Coughlin doesn't make that terrific catch, he has another hit tonight. He would be 3 for 3.
That's true.
That's actually something we were talking about amongst ourselves a little while ago, guys. Ricky, the times that even he's gotten the outs, it seems like they're hitting him hard.
He's been a little bit better the last couple of innings, even though he gave up that 2-out run. But Cookie, I'm out of words. What do you know in this situation? You do see teams go through this. What the Marlins are going through. What else can you do?
Well, I think the only thing I can say, Tommy, I think that any time that we get men on base, that we should start, hitting, running, bunting, and squeezing, all of the things that you can to off of a guy like Lowe on the mound who gives a lot of ground balls. I think that's what you have to do. You have to be patient and generate the things that we did at the beginning, stealing bases, and it's the only way because everybody at the same time got in a slump right now.
So to put it simply, you got to try to put the game in movement a little bit.
I would say so,
yeah.
Because you got to open some holes to see if we can get some ground balls through.
Well, you got to get some base runners on first, and you're right, guys. The ground balls this is vintage Derek Lowe at his best.
Definitely 11 so far. I mean, there's only one fly ball. I think that's the better way to count. The other way around, it's a lot less work.
I like that. All right, guys.
All right.
Have a good show.
Have a good one, George.
Okay. Well, you hear stories about guys taking batting practice in the buff, lighting the bats on fire.
I play with a guy in Philadelphia, Cesar Tovar. I bet you a Cookie knows Cesar. And he used to bring his bats into the clubhouse and put them in his locker. And he had this awful smelling cheap perfume that he'd rub on the barrel of the bats.
Well, that's very much, that may have been the inspiration for Joe Boo in the Major League
Probably
movie.
was, yeah.
Cesar Tovar's bad cologne. Did it work?
He was a pretty good little player. He was one of those players, I think, that played every position in a game.
I think he got most of his acclaim as a Minnesota Twin.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of the movies, the baseball movies that have taken things that really happened. I can also remember a story in the instructional league where one of our players, one of our teammates, didn't want to play the next day and went out and flooded the field. That was in Bull Durham. In Bull Durham, they did that in the minor leagues, and he got it done because we didn't play.
Here's Uggla. Dan is flied out and bounced out. Now the Braves have 2 runs on 6 hits. Marlins don't have a run and don't have a hit. Nolasco misses outside. Now Uggla faced Nolasco in early April and homered against him. That was in Atlanta. Marlins won that game. Nolasco did not get the decision. Of course, Brian McCann would homer against Nolasco in that game as well.
Boy, it gets tough for a pitcher too when he knows his team isn't scoring runs, and a pitcher feels that he has to be perfect. He can't make any mistakes. So it puts a lot of pressure, I think, on the pitchers as well.
Three-1 coming. Uggla with that big hack that Marlin fans have seen so many times.
He lets it fly. There's no question about that. We saw that a lot. and saw a lot of contact on swings like that too.
See what he gets. 3-2. Fastball and a line drive into left center field. That's a base hit. Morrison scoops it up. Uggla will hold with a single. And so Daniel is 1 for 3 in the ball game.
Our crack staff busily working on Dan Uggla's batting average came up with a note that, assuming he reaches his major league average of 585 at bats, what he averaged every year, he would need 116 more hits just to get back to his lifetime average of 263, and he'd have to hit about 320, well over 320, to get to that.
To right, that ball's well hit. Cousins at the track makes the catch. Eric Hinsky gave Ricky Nolasco a scare. It's 2-0 Atlanta. Is the catch by Chris Coghlan off the bat of Alex Gonzalez. Thing of beauty. The frost brewed Coors Light freeze can. Well, Derek Lowe has thrown a no-hitter. He's also thrown a one-hitter. Threw the one-hitter back in 2005. And here tonight, he faces Scott Cousins in the bottom of the 6th. Marlins looking for their first hit. Cousins swings and misses. And it's 0-1.
And a good trivia question would be, when was the last Braves no-hitter?
And who threw it?
Yeah.
Was it one of the big three?
No, it was in 1994. And it was the lefty, Kent Merker.
Two and one to Cousins. You got Cousins, Ricky Nolasco, and then Chris Coghlan. The Marlins have gone 20 consecutive innings without a run. Lowe is in rhythm.
Oh, he's locked in.
This is his 336th career start. He's also made 278 relief appearances. And twice.
Well, he's had that slider to the lefties, and 2 times to Scott Cousins. He's been able to freeze him, backdoor that slider, and hit it right on the outside part of the plate. You're thinking sinker, and here comes that slider, just catches the outside corner. Perfect pitch.
Here's Nolasco. He bounced back to the mound back in the 3rd. The walk to Gabby Sanchez. the only real blemish for Derek Lowe tonight. Ball and a strike. Of course, Lowe started his career in Seattle. He was drafted back in the 1991 draft. In the 8th round, sent to Boston in the infamous...
It's an infamous trade, yeah.
Infamous Heathcliff Slocum trade. Boston got a guy named Jason Varitek along with Lowe. Ricky didn't like that call. It worked out pretty well for the Red Sox. 7 years in Boston, 3 as their closer. Two. Over the mound, Ugla picks it up, and Dan makes the throw to first. So 5 2/3 for Derek Lowe. So far, the Marlins without a hit. Here comes Coghlan. Chevy standings as a result of last night's 1-0 win by the Braves. Atlanta sits in second place, and the Marlins find themselves 3 over in tumbling in the East. They've dropped 6 in a row. 5 of the 6 losses, 1-run losses.
The Marlins have yet to win a game in the month of June, and their home record now is 14-17.
Coghlan takes down Lowe. 2-0 to Chris. Coghlan bounced to short, bounced to second. Does the adage for the hitting a knuckleball work for a sinker ball pitcher? If it's low, let it go. If it's high, let it fly.
Yeah, you have to tell yourself if it starts at your knees, it's going to end up out of the strike zone. Like that. But it sounds easier to lay off of than it is, because you identify it as a pitch that's not a breaking ball, and you think it's going to stay there. But more often than not, that pitch that starts at your knees is going to end out of the zone. That's why some guys will move up in the box.
So he's thrown a no-hitter and a one-hitter. The 2-2 to Coghlan. And another ground ball. Freeman has it. Derek Lowe is through 6 innings. The Marlins don't have a run, don't have a hit. Two 2-0 Atlanta on top. And in between innings, a special moment out in left field.
All right, here we go. What a thrill, following in the footsteps of rapper Sean Kingston, the great Frank Fort. I get the opportunity with Billy the Marlin to pull down number 47, just happens to be the number of tonight's starting pitcher. Do we go?
That's a big moment there. Nolasco's first pitch to Matt Young. And it's 1-0. Craig, do you get to keep the number?
Yes, it was a tug of war. I thought I was going to get it right there. They said you're going to keep it. And Billy, as you saw there, was kind of pulling it away. However, I do have it, yes. Some fan already asked, by the way, for the number.
Hey, Craig, I'll let you in on a little secret, too. You also will get a nice parting gift and a photo, a framed photo of you pulling that down. I may have spilled the beans there, but it's a nice photo.
All right, look forward to that. 297 days to go to the opening. The other number, because remember we saw this number, where does it start out at? 190 something, right?
Yeah, it's amazing to look up there and see 46.
It really
right
is.
now.
It seems so much closer when you see, wow, only 46. The 47th home game will be in the new stadium from here
And
in terms of regular season.
And Craig, hopefully the Marlins will score some runs in the next 46 games.
It may seem, it's funny tonight. Doesn't it seem like it's 9-0? It's a 2-0 game.
That's exactly the feeling you get. Yes.
All right, Craig. Good work on the number there.
Thank you.
Next time you pull off like 20 games. Let's go from 46 to 26. 0-2 Derek Lowe, who's been outstanding. Matt Young bounced out for the first out. And Nolasco strikes out Lowe. And it'll bring up Jordan Schaefer. A reminder that you can log on to JiffyLubeCatch.com for your chance to enter the Play Catch with Gabby Sanchez sweepstakes. 2 lucky winners will be selected to play catch on the field with Gabby prior to the June 21st game against the Angels. Log on to JiffyLubeCatch.com today. Jiffy Lube, the official oil change of the Marlins.
And Rich, the other thing that's tremendously frustrating during a period like this, you hate to waste good starting pitching. On any other night, we'd be talking about a nice game that Ricky Nolasco has going. Last night, Brad Hand, in Major League debut, gave up 1 hit in 6 innings. It was a home run, and that's all.
That's a pop-up, and Nolasco will squeeze it. To the bottom of the 7th, Derek Lowe coming out with a no-hitter. Lowe has walked a hitter, 12 ground ball outs, and his last out against Chris Coghlan, vintage Derek Lowe.
Yeah, vintage. We're not picking on Chris Coghlan. He's just the latest victim. But the last 2 pitches to Chris, watch where they start, about knee high, and then watch where they end up, out of the zone. That was a foul ball. He came back with the same pitch, starts it about knee high, and it drops out of the zone, and he gets Chris Coughlin to hit the ground ball out. So it's been that way all night with Derek Lowe.
Omar Infante takes a letter-high strike.
Might be the highest strike he's thrown.
There haven't been too many of those in the ballgame at all for Lowe. Just 71 pitches now. And Infante, his former teammate, pulls it foul. Twice Infante has bounced to Chipper Jones. 2 of 12 ground ball outs for Derek Lowe, who always has been a ground ball machine in his long career.
And we told you at the onset of the game that his lifetime record against the Marlins is 7-4, but a lifetime ERA of over 5. But tonight, he's got the sinker and slider working.
And as a Brave against the Marlins, his ERA is over 7, and that's through 6 starts. There's a liner to center, and Schaefer is there to make the catch.
Hardest hit ball tonight by the Fish.
Greg Dobbs, Gabby Sanchez also scheduled here in the bottom of the 7th. Marlin fans, present your Miccosukee Ultimate Rewards Players Club card at the stadium box office starting 2 hours prior to any Marlins home game, and get a $10 discount on up to 8 infield box seats. Offer cannot be combined and is subject to availability. Miccosukee Resort and Gaming, get in the game. The Florida Marlins are scuffling right now. They have dropped 6 in a row, 5 of those losses by 1 run, 21 consecutive scoreless innings, and tonight they are being no-hit by the veteran right-hander Derek Lowe. Greg Dobbs has struck out and bounced out. Into center. There's the base hit. Thought for a moment Alex Gonzalez might have a shot at it, but it glanced off his glove. Dobbs was down the line, and the Marlins take a baby step and get a base hit here in the 7th.
Boy, on a ball hit well by Dobbs, it somehow gets past Lowe and just off the glove of Alex Gonzalez. And the acrobatic plays that we've seen Alex make over the year, you still have the feeling he may have made that play. But Dobbs with the base hit breaks up the no-hitter and had a nice approach. Didn't try to pull that sinker. Same pitch he got Chris Coughlin on.
Gabby Sanchez didn't like that pitch, and he and home plate umpire Andy Fletcher discuss. But when you're throwing a no-hitter into the 7th and you're around the plate all night, you start to get the corners, and Lowe has been masterful tonight. 1 out with Dobbs aboard, and Gabby lines one into left field. So a couple of hits for the Marlins.
By golly, they found out how to hit Derek Lowe. That's what you do. That's good to see. And a couple of good swings, a couple of balls hit pretty well.
Right, now you have to talk to the right end.
Now you try to get him. He's shaking up a little. He gave up the base hit. No hitter's gone. Now on the bench, you start talking and you say, okay, got the no hitter. Now let's break up his shutout. Let's take care of that now.
Logan Morrison, 0 for 2, reached on a fielder's choice. Bounced to first, back in the 5th.
Yeah, now he goes in a good slider.
Braves bullpen is up. Scott Proctor, Eric O'Flaherty. Ball and a strike. 0 for 6 in the series is Morrison.
Keep in mind the first ball hit in this inning was a line drive out from Infante.
That's in as well. And they count 2-1. Braves have the lead. It's the bottom of the 7th. And when they get to this part of the ball game, Freddie Gonzalez and Carlos Tosca feel pretty good about what they got in the bullpen. Morrison's ground ball over towards first, bobbled by Freeman, and he just gets the out. Marlins move runners into scoring position. And it's John Buck who comes to the plate. Dobbs at third and Gabby Sanchez at second. Buck is 0 for 2. He's bounced out and struck out. So 21 innings without a run for the Marlins. Lowe is trying to make it 22. And of course, this started the 6-game losing streak. The Marlins started to have problems with runners in scoring position, and the problems got worse, and they got worse.
Yeah, the only opportunities they've had tonight with runners in scoring position were back in the second inning.
At least they were getting guys in scoring position before. Tonight, that's been a struggle.
And Ricky's gotten better.
Down low. You saw that the Braves have a pair of arms ready in the bullpen. Bonifacio is on deck. The Marlins do have Mike Stanton in that dugout. 3-0 pitch. Oh, he threw a slider on 3-0. So Buck's aboard. The bags are loaded. Let's see what the Braves do here. Here comes Freddie, and he may have the hook with him. He does. So Lowe has lost the no-hitter. He still has the shutout. And now he's coming out of the ball game. And with the left-hander summoned, Mike Stanton will get the at-bat after a Marooney called to the pen.
When you need a car, truck, or van, who you gonna call? Marooney!
Freddie Gonzalez has gone to his lefty, Eric O'Flaherty, who pitched last night through a scoreless 7th inning last night. Mike Stanton did not face him. Stanton pinch hits for Emilio Bonifacio. Breaking ball. Stanton fouls it at the plate, and it's 0-1.
Mike pinch hitting for just the 3rd time this year. And remember, last night he had a situation. He was up with the bases loaded and 2 out in the 6th inning against Tommy Hanson. Hit that ground ball up the middle to Ugla, who was shading him there, and he's shading him in the same place tonight.
0-1 coming. It's in the dirt. And the count is 1-1.
Well, first 2 pitches have been breaking balls. That slider from O'Flaherty.
Bases filled with fish. Nice job by McCann to get a piece. The 1-1. Another one in the dirt. McCann knocks this one down. Last night, Nick, a Braves fan, tweeted us the nickname for the trio of relievers that the Braves have. O'Ventbrel. And you got O'Flaherty, Johnny Venters, and Craig Kimbrell. They were lights out last night, and they've been lights out this season.
Yeah, they have for the most part. You got the two lefties and the righty.
The first of the three in here trying to finish the seventh. Stanton fouls it off, and it's 2-2.
Better against lefties this year, but a tough situation for a 21-year-old that's not pinch hit a lot in his career.
Two coming. In the dirt, that one skips to the left of McCann. Dobson, 3 times Dobbs has started towards the plate, only to see that the ball didn't get far enough away.
Tell you another thing that makes it a little tougher for Mike Stanton is you watch this ball almost get away from McCann. Pops up in the air and stays near the plate. Edwin trying to shake things up, change things a little bit. Didn't have the club take batting practice today.
Count full, 2 outs. O'Flaherty ready. Runners go, 3-2s. Struck him out, a fastball. Stanton goes down. And the Braves bullpen cleans up for Derek Lowe, who lost his no-hitter. But the Braves keep the shutout intact. 22 scoreless innings for the Marlins offense. For Ricky Nolasco, and he goes into the 8th inning trailing 2-0. Mike Stanton's going to stay in the ball game. He came in for Bonifacio, and obviously someone needs to play shortstop. So Ozzie Martinez is in the game, and Ozzie is due to lead off. He goes into Scott Cousins' spot. He'll lead off the bottom of the 8th.
But as you mentioned, we were talking between innings. It keeps Stanton in the game. And a possibility for Mike to come to the plate one more time. But you know you're going to see that dynamic duo out of the Braves bullpen.
Venters and Kimbrell. Alex Gonzalez has been dynamic all by himself in this series. Homered in the 4th inning last night. That was the only run of the game. He hit the blast that Coughlin made the highlight film catch on in the first. And he's followed with 2 line drive singles, one which drove in a run in the 5th inning.
Well, if you go back to Alex's last 38 games, and there's Venters getting ready. Alex in those 38 games, he's hit right around 300 to bring his average up to the mid-260s.
0-2 from Nolasco. Fastball struck him out. You're right, Tommy. Ricky has gotten stronger and better as the game has gone on.
Spotted that fastball beautifully. He had Alex thinking breaking ball away, and first 2 pitches away, and runs that fastball in under his hands. Great pitch.
Who would have thought that Nolasco would have lasted longer than Lowe, which he has in this game. And Ricky, as you pointed out, is still cruising at 90 pitches.
In 11 of Ricky's 13 starts now, he's gone 6 or more innings. And we talked very early about his struggles his last 2 starts. All the base hits he allowed. But he's turned that around. He's pitched much better here tonight.
Fly ball towards the line. Long run. Morrison can't make the catch. Off of his glove. He tumbles after it. And Chipper Jones has got himself a double. You certainly don't play Chipper Jones over towards the line when he's from that side of the plate. So it was a long run for Morrison.
Chipper Jones, a good gap hitter. And you kind of try to cover that gap. So well into left center was Logan Morrison. This ball popped in the air. It's going to be our checkers double of the game. Logan got a glove on it, just couldn't come up with it. Very difficult play, but a great effort by Lomo. And a good move here.
To walk Brian McCann, who of course in his career has clubbed 6 homers and driven in 19 runs in 40 at bats against Nolasco. Marlins have a lefty ready in the pen. Perry Hill along with Edwin. And so Freddie Freeman coming to the plate. Edwin's coming to the mound. And he wants the lefty, Randy Choate. So Choate coming in to face Freddie Freeman. 2-0 Braves.
Need a car, truck or van. Who you gonna call? Rudy!
He's on the hook for 2 runs and the 2 runners on base. He's hopeful that Randy Choate can get Freddie Freeman. He got Dan Ugla on deck, and it looks like Ryan Webb is down in the Marlins bullpen. He would be for Ugla.
Yeah, unless Choate, as he did with Prince Fielder, got him to hit into a double play. If he can get the double play, then you don't have to worry about Webb facing Ugla.
And is the double play essentially why you would walk McCann and then bring Choate in to face Freeman instead of having him come in and face both McCann and Freeman?
Yeah, you had 2 choices. Could have had Choate for both left-handers. This way you set up the double play. And you also know how McCann has hit the Marlins over the years.
Freeman is lined out, struck out, bounced out. You don't have great speed out there for the Braves, and Chipper Jones at second, McCann at first. See where that first pitch was. The second one way out. That's the difference between, you know, you come in for just one hitter, you don't have time to find yourself out there. The 2-0. I want to say, wow, that's a strike.
And actually, that's something that that may be a makeup call. Something that Randy Choate and I were talking about that the other day. He's able to tell, and sometimes, because we were talking about the number of fastballs he'll throw to left-handers, and he said a lot of times he goes out there and he might not have as good a breaking ball that he would like, which he said he had early in the year, much better. So he's thrown 3 fastballs actually here to Freeman.
Pair of Braves on board. Freeman with the count 2-1. Line foul. I think it was John Smoltz who, when he went from starter to closer, was asked, what's the difference between closing in the ninth and starting a game? He said, well, starting a game is like you're going out for a Sunday drive. You get in the car, you open the garage door, you pull out, drive through the neighborhood, then you get on the freeway and you're up to 65, 70 miles an hour. As a closer, you hop in the car and you're already going 70 miles an hour because it's in the heat of the battle. Got him.
Got him with the breaking ball. All fastballs until that last pitch that he put Freeman away with. Lefty's now 2 for 26 against Randy Choate.
So lefty specialist that he is, he comes in, he gets the lefty, and now he gets a shower. 2-0. Marooney called to the pen.
When you need a car, truck, or van, who you gonna call? Marooney!
Second with the Braves on top. Here's that last pitch to Freddie Freeman.
You know, the amazing thing about Freeman, he's not going to be thinking about pitch number 5. He's going to be thinking about pitch number 3. There was a called strike that kind of put him in this situation. But Choate, man, he made some good pitches. He had all fastballs until that last slider, that breaking ball to Freeman.
Choate's going to think about pitch number 1, which was called a ball, which was in the strike zone. Ryan Webb now for Dan Uggla. Uggla singled his last time up. Webb starts him with a breaking ball. It's low, and it's 1-0. Ugla, of course, a great story as a Marlin, the Rule 5 draft pick out of Arizona. 5 years in Florida.
And his 5-year average, 31 home runs, 93 RBIs.
154 homers. Ugla last year with career highs, 33 homers, 105 driven in. One and two.
A lot of those home runs with swings like that. Good slider.
Chipper still at second. McCann still at first. 1-2. Got him. Ryan Webb strikes out Dan Ugla. And the Braves leave a couple, but the Marlins are running out of opportunities here. Bottom of the 8th coming up, and a 2-0 lead for Atlanta. And the combination you see there, Randy Choate and Ryan Webb, able to keep it there. And that last punch out of Dan Ugla, our SunTrust performance of the game, that breaking ball getting Ugla. Good tight spin on the slider.
Some good pitches for Ryan Webb. Bullpen again. Bullpen did the job last night too, Rich. The one run, the home run that was hit off Brad Hand. And between Mujica and Webb, 3 solid innings, gave up just 1 hit, no runs. Matt Young moves to left field, and Joe Mather comes in to play right.
And here is Venters, who just has nasty, filthy stuff. He throws a fastball for a strike to Ozzie Martinez. And there's a breaking ball, and it's 0-2.
We talked about his slider, his fastball. He has the ability to throw that cut fastball in the low to mid 90s that runs and moves all over the place.
Johnny Venters, another of the Lake Brantley High School alum in the big leagues. Felipe Lopez, the Weeks brothers, Veritek, Venters out of Altamont Springs. Indian River Community College. And a guy that missed a couple seasons with Tommy John surgery, 05 and 06. It's a tough AB for Ozzie Martinez. And he goes down, ball in the dirt. McCann will have to throw him out. Who's been the best player involved in the Ugla trade with Atlanta? Dunn, Infante at 40. Ugla right now at 20. 789, 789. Wes Helms now. The Marlins have gone pretty deep on their bench on what is already a short bench. With just 4 position players on that bench, and Helms takes a strike.
Yeah, Brett Hayes is all that's left.
Mike Dunn in the Marlins pen, 0-2 quickly on Helms. Our get well wishes to Jared Saltalamacchia, Red Sox catcher, who's been hospitalized with a stomach illness. Down goes Helms. So all Venters has done is come in and strike out 2. This week, Fox Saturday Baseball returns. Aramis Ramirez and the Cubs go to Philadelphia to take on Ryan Howard and the National League East leading Philadelphia Phillies. This week's telecast of Fox Saturday Baseball in prime time is presented by Sprint. It begins at 4 Eastern, 3 Central.
Yeah, Jared Saltalamacchia out of West Palm.
Chris Coughlin. Hit him. Fastball came in, clips Coughlin. Marlins have a base runner with Omar Infante coming up.
Boy, it is not very comfortable against Venters as a left-handed hitter, and he runs that fastball, just takes off and clips that right arm of Chris Coughlin.
Infante's 0 for 3. The Marlins have 2 hits. Greg Dobbs broke up the no-hitter of Derek Lowe in the 7th. Infante smacks one to center. Schaefer is there, and the Marlins are done in the 8th. So we've seen O'Flaherty, we've seen Venters. Kimbrel's right around the corner for the 9th. It's 2-0 Braves. Tonight they haven't scored tonight. 9th inning arrives. We have to affix a Coors Light cold hard blast with something. So why not go for a triple? Jordan Schaefer's had a nice night tonight. Pair of hits. And our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. Mike Dunn, the former Brave, is in now for the Marlins.
And Mike had an appearance against his former team in Atlanta when the Marlins were in Atlanta in April, and a nice outing, inning and a third, no runs. So he's gotten that out of the way. His first appearance against his former team.
25 games with the Braves last year, an ERA of 1.89. So he was part of a very good bullpen that helped carry Atlanta to the wild card and into the postseason. It was amazing. The Braves got there. Unfortunate that they got there without a couple of their best players. Chipper Jones out. Remember, Martin Prado injured himself at the end of the year.
You know, the other amazing thing, Rich, I was thinking about this early in the game when Chipper Jones was up. His first full year, 1995, was the year the Braves won the World Series. Of course, they went on and they won all the division titles, championship, got into postseason. That's his only World Series. It was his first full year.
Only World Series championship.
Championship, yeah. He's been in a couple others, 2 or 3 others, but only championship his first full year.
Of course, the Braves had that run of 14 consecutive division titles, which started in '91. Mather, who came in that defensive switch. The Marlins haven't scored any runs in this series, and all they have to do tomorrow night is face Jair Jurgens. Now they got sawed off. Gabby Sanchez makes the catch.
Who's been one of the best pitchers in the National League over the last 5 or 6 weeks.
Pitcher of the month, wasn't he, in the month of May?
I think he was, yeah. Anibal Sanchez up in the voting for that.
Jurgens was pitcher of the month in the National League in May. Dunn misses up and in to Matt Young. Out of the University of New Mexico is Young. This little guy has fought and clawed and scratched his way into the big leagues up the chain. 2009, he was the Player of the Year in AA in Mississippi.
Diari Hernandez getting ready to pinch hit.
Young hit 300 last year in AAA. A lot of speed. He stole 39 bases last year in AAA. It's outside. He played in Mexico and had a big year in the Mexican League at 358. Mexican Winter League. Two. And Dunn runs that outside.
We're just checking on some of the other games. Cole Hamels at it again, taking a shutout into the 8th inning against the Dodgers. Phillies have a 2-0 lead.
14,626 the attendance tonight. Middle game of a 3-game series, and the Marlins have yet to score in this series. Mike Dunn misses. Matt Young is aboard. We told you about his speed, so he's a threat to run. Diori Hernandez will take the at-bat in the 9 spot. Marlins saw Derek Lowe flirt with a no-hitter into the 7th. And then they've seen the first 2 heads of the 3-headed monster out of the bullpen. Eric O'Flaherty got the last out in the 7th. Struck out Mike Stanton with the bases loaded. And then Johnny Venters came in and worked a scoreless 8th. So next in line is Craig Kimbrell, the 23-year-old.
Yeah, it's a type of game you don't even have to look up. You know he's ready in that bullpen. Yeah, it's interesting. A couple of young, outstanding closers in this division, Kimbrell and Drew Storen, guys that are about the same size, not big guys.
Hernandez swings and misses. It's 0-2. Of course, the Braves had a guy who wasn't very big, was a terrific closer in his career, Billy Wagner. Who's the smallest really good closer? Was it Jeff Montgomery of the Royals?
Montgomery had a good career. Yeah, he was about the same size as Kimbrell and Storen.
Brad Hand and Josh Johnson. Hand making his major league debut last night. What a scene it was with all the friends and family down from Minnesota.
I think all of Chaska, Minnesota was in the hallway outside the clubhouse. And seeing JJ there, it's just it's puzzling. I know we had another just playing catch session today. You and I were doing some things out there, and we saw him. He was playing catch out in right field. But that's all he's done.
Just keeping Young close over at first. (2-0) Atlanta. Last night a 1-0 Braves win. More of the same here tonight for the Fish. Last night the Marlins had 4 hits. Tonight 2. Still 1-2.
Fastball at 96. He's thrown a couple of fastballs by Hernandez, but he has really slowed everything down. Part of that because Young's at first base.
Fastball got him, 95. So he dials it up, gets a strikeout. Now he's got Jordan Schaefer, the leadoff hitter for the Braves. The Marlins in the bottom of the 9th will have Greg Dobbs, Gabby Sanchez, and Logan Morrison. And barring 2 or 3 more runs by the Braves here, they'll have to face the Braves closer, who is on pace to set a rookie record for saves in the first half. Craig Kimbrell, who got his 18th last night.
And I think at this point, Rich, if you had to pick 3 Marlins hitters to hit in the bottom of the 9th inning, you'd pick Dobbs, Sanchez, and Morrison.
I might go with Conine, Cabrera, and Lowell.
That's a good choice too.
Snap throw. That almost got him.
Boy, that was close. And that's the first time he showed him that move. The other moves he'd gone over with the leg lifting up, throwing over. That the snap throw, and he almost got Young.
Young's running. Foul back. 0-2. Young's thinking to himself, all that work, all the moves over. I finally decide to run, get the good jump.
And he's quick, too.
And he is. See if he's running on 0-2 again. Not running. Schaefer lines it foul. The whole family was scrambling after that foul ball. See that? And they got it. They had that.
It was a family affair.
The whole family was after that. Mom, dad, kids. Thankfully, Dad didn't drop any of the kids.
Jordan Schaefer trying to take care of more family members down there.
Two. Ground ball at Infante. And so Dunn pitches a scoreless ninth, but it's been a scoreless night so far for the Fish. 2-0 Braves. South Florida, when you need a car, truck, or van, who are you going to call? 1-877-MAROONY. By Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. by your local Chevrolet dealer. 1.4-liter turbocharged engine and 6-speed automatic transmission. The all-new Chevrolet Cruze. See your local Chevrolet dealer. And by Florida Power and Light, FPL is constantly working to make its system stronger, smarter, cleaner, and even more efficient. To offer reliable service today and for years to come, visit FPLConnect.com. Marlins find themselves once again in the bottom of the ninth, facing young Craig Kimbrell.
Well, you look at the saves and opportunities, and you want to kind of grasp at a positive. You say, you know what, he's blown 4 saves, so somebody's gotten to him.
But he's also notched 18 saves successfully. Fastball misses away.
He can light up that radar gun. Kind of has that pose as he leans in to get his sign, too.
His 18 saves is a National League rookie record for saves before the All-Star break. The Major League record is 26 by the Red Sox Jonathan Papelbon. That was in 2006. So he's on pace to set a Major League record, especially if the Braves can deliver him more games like this.
Kind of looks like a wild animal getting ready for the pounce on his prey.
A strike to Dobbs. Toyota tread. Marlins have not won in June. Never have the Marlins gone 0-7 in June. Dobbs, Gabby Sanchez, Logan Morrison in the ninth. That one gets away from Kimbrell. 97 miles an hour on that fastball. It's 3-2 now. There's Gabby. Dobbs single in the 7th broke up Derek Lowe's no-hitter. Down he goes.
Just a straight heat, lively heat.
Let's go, Gabby!
We saw 95, 97, and that fastball just took off.
Gabby Sanchez now. He goes after a breaking ball in the dirt, and it's 0-1.
Well, what Gabby was doing, he was hoping he'd get that first pitch fastball. Kind of cheat a little bit on it to get to it. He saw the good slider from Kimbrell.
Gabby followed up the Dobbs single with a base hit to left field himself. 97 with some good tail. Looks like an action hero out there. The 0-2. Just blew him away. He blew Dobbs away. He blows Gabby Sanchez away. Here comes Logan Morrison.
Well, the Marlins have struck out 10 times tonight. Lowe had 5. Flaherty had 1. Venters had a couple. And now 2 here by Kimbrell. Look how he stayed upstairs. After that first pitch slider, he stayed upstairs with the fastball.
The Marlins have gone 23 innings without scoring a run. Oh, and 1 to Morrison. 1-1 is in the dirt.
When you sit there on the bench, you try to think through things. Guys are thinking, when's this going to end?
That's low and inside, and Morrison has worked the count. Now to 3-1. John Buck waits. Pops a 3-1 pitch back and out of play. The count goes full now, 3-2. Marlins are down to their last strike. Craig Kimbrell following Johnny Venters, following Eric O'Flaherty, following 6 2/3 of Derek Lowe at his very best.
If he sticks with his pattern, he'll just say, here's the fastball.
He misses with it. So it's going to bring the tying run to the plate in Buck. No one has put a ball in play against Kimbrell tonight. A pair of strikeouts and a walk. Buck last night was the first man that Kimbrell faced in the ninth, and Kimbrell struck him out. So they meet again. Flipped up a slider.
Yeah, remember the big home run John Buck hit in Arizona to tie the game over the swimming pool?
Gave J.J. Putz his first blown save of the season. He dialed that one in a little better.
Yeah, that slider just keeps you honest with the fastball.
Breaking ball line into right center field. That's going to get down. That goes to the wall. Morrison to third. He'll be held there. And John Buck has given the Marlins life.
And wouldn't you know, the move that Edwin made when he pinch hit Mike Stanton in the game and then kept him in the game. There's a slider that John Buck stays on nicely to drive the other way. Brings Stanton up to hit right here in this inning.
So he threw 3 sliders to John Buck after blowing away Dobbs and Gabby Sanchez on overpowering fastballs.
And remember when Mike Stanton pinch hit, he hit off the lefty O'Flaherty, and O'Flaherty threw some early breaking balls but struck him out on a fastball. It was right there. Quick visit from Roger McDowell.
Well, you got Stanton now.
You also have Ozzie Martinez in the on-deck circle.
Yep. First base is open, but no doubt Kimbrell's going to go after Stanton. Fastball. There's strike one. That's strike 2 right down the middle, and it's 0-2, and Mike Stanton looks lost at the plate.
Yeah, he does.
Let's see what he gets. 0-2. Just low.
99 on that last fastball. And not low by much. Wow.
But low. See if he sticks with the fastball. 1-2 coming. Fastball. Ground ball, base hit right field. Here comes Morrison. He scores. Here comes Buck. He will score. Game's tied. Stanton to second. And the Marlins have their big hit.
Kimbrel wanted to stay with that fastball because that's been his best pitch this inning. He gave up the double to John Buck. He knew that O'Flaherty struck out Mike Stanton on a fastball. And when you're strong, even if you're a little behind the fastball, you muscle it out there. Mike, give him credit. That's not an easy AB against a tough closer. He drives in 2 runs. First runs the Marlins have scored in quite some time and ties this ball game. That also snapped an 0 for 9 that Mike had.
Here is Ozzie Martinez with Stanton at second. And Kimbrel misses outside. That's the 5th blown save for Kimbrel this year.
I said that's how you have to approach it. You have to say, okay, he's blown 4. Somebody's gotten to him.
2-0. Brett Hayes is on deck. Right down the middle. 97. So Mike Stanton comes through. 2-run single after the 2-out double by John Buck. It started with the walk, a 2-out walk to Logan Morrison. Ozzie goes after the slider. And it's 2-2. Got him with a breaking ball, but the Marlins come back and tie the game. Mike Stanton with a big 2-out, 2-run single. To the 10th we go. Jack Link's Beef Jerky, the official sponsor of Extra Innings. And the Marlins have reached extra innings by snapping a streak of 23 innings without a run with 2 outs. Mike Stanton with 2 strikes, punching 1 into right field, scoring 2. And here we are in the 10th inning.
And a lot of Braves fans punching some walls, wondering why did the Marlins pitch to Stanton? First base was open. You had Ozzie Martinez on deck. So there'd be some questions there. And also Stanton got some fastballs. But I really do think that goes back to O'Flaherty striking him out on a fastball. And Kimbrel throws a lot harder than O'Flaherty.
Let's go!
Mike Dunn is still in the ball game, and that's because Ozzie Martinez didn't reach. If Martinez had reached base, the Marlins would have been forced to pinch hit for Dunn with Brett Hayes. Hayes is the remaining bench player for the Marlins. You can see Edwin taking a peek at his card. Hayes is the only name that's not crossed out there on the extra players. You see that? And the Braves still have Prado, Ross, and Brooks Conrad. Here is Alex Gonzalez. If we picked up any offensive language in that last sequence, we would like to apologize. Gonzalez swings and misses.
Well, extra innings. The Marlins in 10 extra inning games are 4-6. And the Braves have played 12 extra inning games. They're 6-6.
Gonzo's been good tonight. That one's off of John Buck's mask. And it's 0-2. 2 for 4 is Alex Gonzalez. Drove in a run with a single in the 5th. So the Marlins bullpen of Randy Choate, Ryan Webb, both for a third of an inning. And then Mike Dunn entering his second inning in relief. Got some good hitters coming up, though. You got Chipper Jones, Brian McCann, Freddie Freeman around the bend. One and 2 to the Braves shortstop. That was one of the, it wasn't a spectacular move by Frank Wren last year, but the trade of Yunel Escobar for Alex Gonzalez was a big one.
He was the kind of guy that, personality-wise, they just didn't feel fit in with the Braves.
And Gonzalez solidified the shortstop position. A veteran guy who has won a world championship and been to the postseason. Put that guy in the middle of your clubhouse.
I'll tell you what, there are 3 guys that come to mind, veteran shortstops that have kind of moved around lately. You got Orlando Cabrera,
Edgar
Renteria, and Alex Gonzalez.
That's a good call. And only Cabrera's the only guy that hasn't played for the Marlins or won a world championship with the Marlins, for that matter. Dunn gets Alex Gonzalez.
Well, he has that good fastball. He sets him up for this breaking ball, gets it out of the zone, and gets Alex to chase it.
Now Chipper Jones doubled his last at bat. His first at bat from this side of the plate, and as you pointed out, the splits this year are rather dramatic from left to right. .324 from this side of the plate. As a lefty, under 220.
Those 3 shortstops we're talking about, at one time or another, all with the Boston Red Sox, too.
One and 2. McCann waits. Dunn's 1-2 pitch. Rides it outside to Chipper Jones. And the count's 2-2. Count full.
Told you this year, this side of the plate has been a little bit better for Chipper.
Three-two coming. Down low, he walks. The Braves have a base runner in the 10th, and McCann comes up. We talk so much about the importance of a left-handed pitcher in this division, and the Braves are obviously one of the big examples, the Phillies the other. But especially now that Freddie Freeman is here, Jason Hayward on the disabled list. Normally you got a Hayward, McCann, Freeman.
Yeah, and you have guys, you're talking about left-handers who are going to play every day. They're not platoon lefties.
Of course, with the Phillies, Howard, Utley, Ibanez. Breaking ball, he's all over it. Rips it into right. Stanton picks it up. Boy, McCann has hit the ball hard tonight. He's got 2 hits.
Seems like whatever pitch you throw, if you throw a fastball, he's on it. If you throw a breaking ball, a slider there, he's on it. Hit that ball so hard that Chipper Jones had no chance to go from first to third.
Speaking of the Phillies, Cole Hamels, with some help from his bullpen, shut out the Dodgers tonight, 2-0. Ryan Howard hit his 13th.
So they kept Matt Kemp in the house, huh? He's been on fire.
Hamels 8-2 with the win. Colorado got 2 runs in the top of the 9th against that San Diego bullpen and beat the Padres in San Diego 5-3, making a winner out of Matt Lindstrom, and Heath Bell takes the loss. Done against Freeman.
Not a good night for closers.
Oh, although Houston Street did get the save because for Bell, he came into a tie game in that 9th. It's off the plate. A ball and a strike. Just like the Marlins and the Braves, you see Steve Cishek warming up. Arizona and Pittsburgh are into extra innings in a 1-1 game in the 10th in Pittsburgh. Arizona's headed here next. Freeman has kind of spit on the breaking ball, and the count goes to 2-1.
Edwin checking the scorecard, looking ahead. Dan Uggla on deck. That's why Cishek's getting loose.
Bud Norris has a no-hitter through 6 innings as Houston leads St. Louis 3-0 in the 7th. Fastball fouled off, and it's 2-2. That game actually in the bottom of the 6th in Houston with 2 outs. Mets are trailing Milwaukee 2-1 in the 7th. That's up in Milwaukee. Prince Fielder his 16th. Cubs snapped an 8-game losing streak by beating the Reds 4-1. Marlins trying to snap a 6-game losing streak here. And they were down to their last strike before Mike Stanton lined a ball into right field to drive in 2 and tie it. 2-2. Ground ball up the middle into center field. Here comes Chipper. Here comes a throw, and he's going to score. Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, give him credit. He had a solid at bat. Fastball away, and he takes it right back up the middle, gets it past Mike Dunn. No play for Chris Coughlin. And just like that, the Braves take the lead.
And there's still only 1 out here. Here's Uggla. Buck may be buying some time for Cishek to get ready. You got Uggla. Then you got Mather. Remember, you got Brooks Conrad on that bench, too.
Edwin may be making a double switch. The only guy he has left is Brett Hayes, so that would mean that John Buck will come out.
And so he would want Hayes to lead off the 10th and hide Cishek as far down the lineup as he can.
And maybe not.
3-2 Braves. Marooney called to the pen.
You need a car, truck, or van. Who you gonna call?
second. So rookie Steve Cishek comes out of the Marlins pen in a tight spot with Dan Uggla coming up. Marlins tied it against the Braves bullpen, getting 2 runs against Craig Kimbrell in the bottom of the 9th with 2 outs. A walk to Logan Morrison, a double by John Buck, Mike Stanton's 2-run single. The Braves have a run. Brett Hayes comes in. He's in the 9 spot, which is due up first in the bottom of the inning, and Cishek enters in the 6th spot in the order. And Hayes is the last position player the Marlins have on their short bench.
You and I were talking, I believe it was against Milwaukee, when Edwin brought Cishek in a little tighter situation. 1-run game. And we've seen him use him in a situation like that a little bit more than when he first arrived.
Which is the situation that he was being used in AAA and was putting up good numbers. Closing games. That one fouled back. Ball and a strike. Good pitch. 1-2.
He's got a nice, easy delivery, and we've said it before with his build. He's elbows, knees, slings the ball. Can't be easy to pick up for a right-handed hitter. Tried to get Uggla to chase the slider.
Count 2-2. Well, it started with the walk to Chipper Jones. McCann ripped a single to right. Freeman lined one into center. That scored Chipper. The Marlins had tied the game. That didn't last long. 2-2. Fastball strikes out Uggla. A 1-for-5 night for the former Marlin.
Just a good fastball right down the middle. Started off the plate, though. Had some good movement.
Now Mather. He came in for Hinsky. Popped out his only at bat. Oh, and 1. Hayes, Coughlin, Infante, and then Dobbs in the bottom of the 10th. 0-2. Oh-2 coming. Fastball missed up. Ball and 2 strikes. Scott Proctor is loose and ready to go for the Braves. Breaking ball, ground ball, and it's wide of third. Marlins have seen the big 3, O'Flaherty, Venters, and Kimbrell. And it was Kimbrell who blew the save, even though he struck out 3 in that 9th inning. Marlins getting their first 2 runs in, 24 innings? Dating back to Monday night. Mather's been on the last couple of breaking balls, and it counts 1-2. Big lead at second by McCann. looks like Mather has kind of dialed that pitch in during this at bat.
Yeah, he has. Think about McCann at second base. When you don't have good speed, you want to try to get as big a lead as possible, and he's doing that.
Yep.
To give him credit.
You need every step you can get. 2-2. Struck him out. But the Braves get a run. Freddie Freeman, the rookie, bangs one into center. Bottom of the 10th. 3-2 Atlanta. Long, feed your wild side. Bottom of the 10th, and the Marlins have to rally again. The Braves have a run, and they face a veteran right-hander, a guy who was a Marlin briefly, Scott Proctor.
Scott Proctor, one of those many pitchers that have undergone Tommy John surgery and other surgeries. He's come back from a lot, and he's in our short time in getting to know him, he's a quality guy. He's a competitor, and you know he's a competitor just because he's come back from so much.
In 2009, he was slated to be a Marlin and did not make an appearance. Tommy John surgery back in 09. Worked his way back to the big leagues. Got in 6 games with the Braves last year, and here he is back with Atlanta for another season. Brett Hayes swings at a letter-high fastball.
They give you some fastballs, sliders, a few curveballs. Spent some time and had a couple of good years with the Yankees, working out of their bullpen.
Had one year where he appeared in 83 games. He's throwing a couple fastballs to Hayes, and it's 0-2.
And his only career save was back in September of 2006. He was with the Yankees, and it was against the Orioles.
Everything straight so far to Hayes. Then it's up to the top of the order. Chris Coghlan, Omar Infante. You've just joined us. The Marlins were almost no hit tonight. Greg Dobbs broke that up with a single in the 7th. Almost shut out tonight. Hayes to third. Chipper Jones. Perfect throw.
Well, Chipper Jones over there on the line, protecting for an extra base hit, and right there is Hayes. Hit the ball pretty well. Got a breaking ball. It's the first breaking ball he saw.
Marlins were almost shut out until 2 outs and 2 strikes in the 9th when Mike Stanton lined a single to right off of Craig Kimbrell, the Braves closer. Mike Dunn gave up a run in the top of this inning to Atlanta. Here's Coghlan. He's 0 for 3.
Sounded like he got a piece of Andy Fletcher, the home plate umpire. tough. He's okay.
One ball and one strike. Proctor was born in Stewart, just up the road.
Still makes his home up there, I believe.
Resides in Jensen Beach.
Well, Mike Stanton tied this thing. The big base hit off one of the best closers in the National League.
One and two to Coghlan. Chris lines it down the right field line. Round first he goes, headed for second. Mathers throw, and Coghlan with a head first dive is in scoring position. And the Marlins aren't done yet.
Yeah, you gotta love the fight, and I know Edwin loves it. It's his 19th double of the year for Chris Coghlan, and couldn't have come at a better time. He caught the breaking ball, went down on it. That was a pretty good pitch by Proctor. Mather got over, but no chance to get Cox.
Roger McDowell trots out to the mound. He, Proctor, and McCann will discuss Omar Infante.
And remember, Rich, how we talked about Chris Coghlan's career numbers against the Braves. That base hit, because he hadn't gotten a hit tonight, gives him a 22-game hitting streak now against the Braves.
Infante, then you got Dobbs. One out, bottom 10. Infante has hit 2 line drives his last 2 times up, both at the center fielder, Jordan Schaefer.
And you have more activity in the Braves bullpen. I know the left-hander is George Sherrill.
And he's up for Dobbs.
And Linebrink, veteran Scott Linebrink, the right-hander.
He's up in case it gets to Gabby Sanchez.
It makes it easier for Freddie Gonzalez to match up because he knows Edwin doesn't have anybody to pinch hit for Dobbs. So if he chooses, he can bring in the left-hander.
On one pitch is way outside, and it's 2-1. Infante last year as a Brave was 3rd in the National League in hitting. He hit .321. His on-base percentage .359, and he was an All-Star. In the dirt. Now it's 3-1. Here is Dobbs waiting on deck. The ironic thing about that is when he was named an All-Star, many Marlin fans felt Dan Uggla deserved to be on the team, but Infante drew the eye of Charlie Manuel. Manuel said, hey, we're trying to win. We want home field advantage for the National League, and I need a utility guy. 3-1.
By the way, Infante would love to get a base hit here. It's an early sample, but he's just 1 for 21 against the Braves this year. He had a 1 for 17 series in Atlanta, and he's 0 for 4 here tonight, albeit hitting a couple of balls hard to center field.
Proctor's gone 3-2. Coghlan's at second, and Infante is still alive. Time call. One out double by Chris Coghlan. Marlins trying to come back for the second time. They scored 2 in the bottom of the 9th to tie it. And Infante just won't go away.
Yeah, he's fouled off a couple of fastballs. Proctor has stayed with his fastball the last 3-2 pitches. See if he stays with it again.
Nearly no hit by Derek Lowe. Got a hit in the 7th, nearly shut out. A 2-out, 2-run single by Mike Stanton to tie it. But again, behind here, 3-2 to Infante, and it's in the dirt. Infante. Here comes Dobbs, and we'll see if Freddie Gonzalez goes to George Sherrill. Yeah, not even a hesitation. Freddie out, points to the pen. Sherrill comes in to face Dobbs with runners first and second. The Marlins down a run. And the bottom of the 10th. Exit Scott Proctor. 3-2 Braves. Here's our Marooney. Call to the pen.
When you need a car, truck or van, who you gonna call? Marooney!
Greg Dobbs coming to the plate. George Sherrill, 24th appearance, a nice ERA, though not dominant against lefties. Lefties this year, 290 against Sherrill, a former All-Star. Greg Dobbs doesn't have a lot of at-bats against lefties this year. He's 2 for 9.
Yes, Sherrill, an All-Star as an Oriole, a couple of years with Baltimore, their closer.
First pitch fastball is a strike.
Tough to pick up, though. He doesn't overpower you, but the way he hides the ball, you can see even when he sets, he short arms the delivery, hides the ball. Fastball isn't going to break 90, and a slider, but tough to pick up.
Gabby Sanchez is on deck. You saw line break the right-hander ready in the pen. Dobbs goes after a breaking ball, and it's 0-2. Now Dobbs is in contact mode. Close and late, he's been good, but he's behind in the count 0-2. The left-hander George Sherrill. Coughlin a double, a walk to Infante, and he struck him out with a high fastball.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy, and you see that fastball 88, but as a hitter, you react almost like it's 95 or 98.
And George Sherrill does his job as Freddie Gonzalez mixes and matches here in extra innings. Dobbs strikes out. Line break comes on to face Gabby Sanchez. Marlins down to their last out again. Marooney called to the pen.
When you need a car, truck or van, who you gonna call? Marooney!
All the changes. Scott Linebrink in now. Gabby Sanchez digs in. First pitch, fastball is low. It's 1-0.
Oddly enough, Gabby has faced Linebrink a couple of times in his career, and he's walked each time. Linebrink can come at you with 4 different pitches.
2 outs. Tying run at second. That's a strike. The winning run is at first. Omar Infante. Logan Morrison is on deck. Linebrink, the 3rd pitcher to work for the Braves here in the 10th. Atlanta clean to a 1-run lead. 1-1 pitch. Popped foul. And for the 2nd time tonight, the Marlins are down to their last strike. Mike Stanton in the 9th. But the Braves up 2-0 on a 2-strike fastball from Craig Kimbrell. Lined it into right field for a 2-run single. That's how we've arrived in extra innings. Braves got a run in the top of the inning. Gabby Sanchez behind in the count, 1-2. Linebrink to the plate. 2-2.
And talking about all 4 pitches, he can use the fastball, a curve, a slider, even has a kind of a tumbling splitter fork type pitch, which is like his changeup.
Two. Oh, strike 3 call. Gabby can't believe it. Andy Fletcher rung them up. Gabby Sanchez throws the bat. And that'll do it. Here's a look at it on Fox Tracks.
Wow. You cannot end a game on a bad call like that. That's a shame. Especially a game that was hard fought like this one, the way the Marlins have battled. That's a tough time to make a mistake for an umpire.
The Marlins lose their 7th in a row. 6 of the 7 losses in this streak have been by 1 run. Another 1-run loss tonight. The Braves in extra innings, 1 run better. 3-2 the final in 10. Although no home runs were hit in this game, the home run challenge continues through Father's Day. Make your pledge by calling 800-798-CURE or go online to pcf.org. The Marlins rallied in the 9th. They almost rallied in the 10th. But the Braves win again. Andy Fletcher said strike. Gabby Sanchez said no way.